today we're gonna start watching other stuff. Today we're gonna be watching 9 shocking facts from the Quran. So I probably know most of them because I'm a Muslim. So I probably know most of them. But I like to learn more about my religion before I start exploring other religions. I need to be firm with my religion. Uh, then I'm gonna start exploring, like for example, the Bible, the Torah, whatever. But I need just to be certain about my religion. Also, I think, in my opinion, that everyone who reads the Quran, he can easily convert to Islam, easily, just by reading the Quran. You don't need a sheikh, you don't need anyone. Just reading the Quran can get you to accepting Islam. Like for example, reading the Bible, there's so much stuff in the Bible that maybe contradictions and maybe stuff that you can't get into your mind. But the Quran is very easy to understand. It's very easy. And anyone who can read the Quran with an open mind, he will accept Islam. Because Islam is really, really, really matching with science, matching with everything around you. Like, it makes perfect sense. And today we're going to be watching 9 facts from the Quran. I probably know most of them, but let's see if there's stuff that I don't know about. Because, by the way, I didn't read the whole Quran, but I'm learning about the Quran and Islam while we are watching these videos. I'm Muslim my entire life, but still, I didn't read the whole Quran. I didn't. I don't really practice that much, but I know in my heart that the Quran is the right religion. I hope that one day I will memorize the whole Quran, and one day I'm gonna be a scholar. Hopefully. So let's begin with our video.
Ever since the dawn of mankind, we have sought to understand nature and our place in it. In this quest for the purpose of life, many people have turned to religion. Most religions are based on books claimed by their followers to be divinely inspired without any proof. Islam is different because it is based upon reason and proof.
See,
There are clear signs that the Book of Islam, the Quran, is the Word of God, and we have many reasons to support this claim. There are scientific and historical facts found in the Quran which were unknown to the people at the time and have only been discovered recently by contemporary science. The Quran is in a unique style of language that cannot be replicated. This is known as the inimitability of the Quran. There are prophecies made in the Quran and by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which have come to pass.
by the way, when I start listening to this, uh, and I know I'm from Egypt, and my language is Arabic, so everyone just start to think and appreciate that he is a Muslim and he's from Arab lands like Egypt. My language is Arabic. This is my mother language. So someone when he listens to this, he gets more appreciated to his religion and his country. I'm more thankful that I live in Arab land than I live in Western land or something like that. So I'm really appreciated to my religion and my country because I know Arabic. Anyone can learn about Arabic, but for me it's my mother language, so I don't really need to learn. And I know I'm a Muslim, so I thank God that I was born as a Muslim because I don't think if I was born like a Christian, I would convert to Islam. I know it's very difficult for someone, but I thank God that I'm a Muslim. Also, about the scientific facts, um, I don't really need scientific facts to prove to me that the Quran is the right religion because I know in my heart that the Quran is the right religion. these scientific facts maybe can be suitable for a Christian or a Hindu, but for me, I don't really need these facts because I know in my heart that this religion is the right religion, not because of the scientific facts, but because of everything actually. Like there's stuff that cannot be proven by science today, but I still believe in it. It's in my heart that I know that this is the right religion, and hopefully this will increase my faith a little bit. But let's continue.
The following are some facts found in the Quran. Number 1. Origin of life. Water is essential for all living things. We all know that water is vital to life, but the Quran makes a very unusual claim. We made every living thing from water. Will they not believe? In this verse, water is pointed out as the origin of all life. All living things are made of cells. We now know that cells are mostly made up of water. For example, 80% of the cytoplasm, basic cell material, of a standard animal cell is described as water in biology textbooks. The fact that living things consist mostly of water was discovered only after the invention of the microscope. In the deserts of Arabia, the last thing someone would have guessed is that all life came from water.
I read this verse in the Quran several times, but I never thought about that when I'm reading it. I read it so many times, but this is didn't really get into my head when I was reading. I know that I was reading. I didn't really care much, but now he just pointed at this as a scientific fact, and I didn't really pay attention. I just was reading. I didn't really pay attention. So that's a good one. Yeah.
Number 2. Iron. Iron is not natural to the earth. It did not form on the earth but came down to earth from outer space. This may sound strange, but it's true.
Yes, it's true. I studied this when I was in the secondary school. I studied this, and I know for a fact that yes, iron did not form on Earth. It came from outer space. Yeah, I know that.
Scientists have found that billions of years ago, the earth was struck by meteorites. These meteorites were carrying iron from distant stars, which had exploded. The Quran says the following on the origin of iron. We sent down iron with its great inherent strength and its many benefits for humankind. God uses the words sent down for iron. It is clear from the verse that iron is not an earthly material, but was sent down for the benefit of humanity. The fact that iron came down to earth from outer space is something which could not be known by the primitive science of the 7th century.
Again, I did not pay attention when I was reading the Quran about this. I know Arsalna al Hadid. We sent down iron. Just this word, sent down iron. I did not pay attention at all. I didn't think like that. I did not pay attention at all. I feel like it's stupid sometimes, but anyway.
Number 3. Sky's protection. The sky plays a crucial role in protecting the earth. The sky protects the earth from the lethal rays of the sun. If the sky did not exist, then the sun's radiation would have killed off all life on earth. It also acts like a blanket wrapped around earth to protect it from the freezing cold of space.
Oh,
If this temperature was to reach earth, then the planet would freeze over instantly. The sky also protects life on earth by warming the surface through heat retention, greenhouse effect, and reducing temperature extremes between day and night. These are some of the many protective functions of the sky. The Quran asks us to consider.
I'm sorry about this. I don't want. I know this ads.
كاس بيرسكي رائع أخبرته حياتك الرقمية مهمة احميها مع كاسبرسكي الجديد.
Sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that. Too many ads. Too many ads. Too many ads. Sorry.
Consider the sky in the following verse. We made the sky a protective ceiling, and yet they are turning away from our signs. The Quran points to the sky's protection as a sign of God. The protective properties of the sky were discovered by scientific research conducted in the 20th century. Number 4, mountains. The Quran draws our attention to a very important characteristic of mountains. Did we not make the earth as a resting place and the mountains as stakes? The Quran indicates that mountains have deep roots by using the word stakes to describe them. In fact, mountains do have deep roots, and the word stakes is an accurate description for them. A book titled Earth by geophysicist Frank Press explains that mountains are like stakes and are buried deep under the surface of the earth. Mount Everest, the height of which is approximately 9 kilometers above ground, has a root deeper than 125 kilometers.
I thought it's going to be higher than that. 9 kilometers? I thought it's going to be higher.
The fact that mountains have a deep stake-like roots was not known until after the development of the theory of plate tectonics in the beginning of the 20th century. Number 5, expansion of the universe. At the time when the science of astronomy was still primitive, the expansion of the universe was described in the Quran, and it is we who have built the universe with our creative power and keep expanding it. The fact that the universe is expanding was discovered in the last century. The physicist Stephen Hawking, in his book A Brief History of Time, writes, the discovery that the universe is expanding was one of the great intellectual revolutions of the 20th century.
I thought the universe was shrinking, not expanding. I did not know that. I think that I read that once, that the universe is shrinking. But now he's giving proof that the earth is expanding. But I still, even if it doesn't match with science, I still believe in the Quran. Even if, but it matches with the Quran. I mean, it was proven this theory in 20th century. So a decade ago, the Quran would be wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna still believe in it, but I did not know that. This is new for me.
The Quran mentioned the expansion of the universe even before the invention of the telescope. Number 6, Sun's orbit. In 1512, the astronomer Nicholas Copernicus put forward his theory that the sun is motionless at the center of the solar system and that the planets revolve around it. The belief that the sun is stationary was widespread amongst astronomers until the 20th century. It is now a well-established scientific fact that the sun is not stationary, but is moving in an orbit around the center of our Milky Way galaxy.
There were also theories that say that the Earth is the center and everything runs in an orbit around the Earth. Because back then, they thought that everyone will think that they are the center of the universe. This is the human nature. So there was also theories that say that the Earth is in the center of the universe and everything else revolve around it.
The Quran mentions the orbit of the sun. It is He who created night and day, the sun and the moon, each floating in its orbit. The Quran would have been wrong according to astronomers just a couple of decades ago, but we now know that the Quranic account of the sun's motion is consistent with modern astronomy. Number 7, the ocean. The Quran uses imagery to convey its deep meanings. Here it describes the state of the unbelievers as darkness out in a deep ocean, which is covered by waves, above which are waves, above which are clouds, layers of darkness, one upon the other. When one puts out his hand therein, he can hardly see it. Those God gives no light to, they have no light. It is commonly thought that waves only occur on the surface of the ocean. However, oceanographers have discovered that there are internal waves that take place below the surface of the ocean. These waves are invisible to the human eye and can only be detected by specialist equipment. The Quran mentions darkness in a deep ocean above which are waves. Above which are waves, then clouds above that. This description is not only remarkable because it describes the internal waves in the ocean, but also because it describes darkness deep in the ocean. A human being can dive no more than 70 meters without breathing equipment. Light is present at that depth, but if we go down 1,000 meters, it is completely dark. 1,400 years ago, there were no submarines or specialist equipment to discover internal waves or the darkness deep inside the oceans.
By the way, I think that I read this verse before, but I didn't understand its meaning. But now he gives beautiful explanation of this verse that I had no idea what's saying before. I didn't understand it before, but now I know. See, this is the reason I'm watching these videos. It really increases my knowledge and makes me firm about Islam. This is really good.
Number 8. Lying and movement. There was a cruel, oppressive tribal leader named Abu Jahl who lived during the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. God revealed a verse of the Quran to warn him. No, indeed, if he does not stop, we will seize him by the forehead, his lying, sinful forehead. God does not call this person a liar, but calls his forehead, the front part of the brain, lying sinful, and warns him to stop. This verse is significant for two reasons. It is responsible for voluntary movement. This is known as the frontal lobe. A book titled Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology, which includes the results of research on the functions of this area, states the motivation and the foresight to plan and initiate movements occur in the anterior portion of the frontal lobes, the prefrontal area. The part of the brain that is responsible for movement is said to be seized if the man does not stop. Secondly, numerous studies have shown that this same region, frontal lobe, is responsible for the lying function of the brain. One such study at the University of Pennsylvania, in which volunteers were asked questions during a computerized interrogation, it was found that when the volunteers were lying, there was significantly increased activity in the prefrontal and premotor cortices, frontal lobe region. The front part of the brain is responsible for movement. The unless lobe discovered medical equipment, which was developed in the 20th century. Number 9, pain receptors. For a long time, it was thought the sense of feeling pain was dependent on the brain. However, it has been discovered that there are pain receptors present in the skin. Without these pain receptors, a person would not be able to feel pain. Consider the following verse on pain. We shall send those who reject our revelations to the hellfire. When their skins have been burned away, we shall replace them with new ones so that they may continue to feel the pain. God is almighty, all-wise. God tells the people who reject his message that when they are in hell and their skins are burnt off so they can't feel any pain, he will give them new skins so that they continue to feel the pain. The Quran makes it clear that pain is dependent upon the skin. The discovery of pain receptors in the skin is a fairly recent discovery for biology. These are just some of the many facts found in the Quran. It is important to know that the Quran is not a book of science, but
See?
that is consistent with science. To claim that scientific facts in the Quran are due to coincidence would be irrational. The best explanation is that God revealed this knowledge to the Prophet Muhammad. Just like the Quran contains knowledge about the natural world, it also contains information about the inner dimensions of our souls. It relates to our feelings, wants, and needs. The Quran informs us that we have a purpose in life and that following God's guidance will lead us to an inner peace in this life and paradise in the hereafter, and that rejection of His message will lead to depression in this life and hellfire after death. We shall show them our signs in the universe and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth. Is it not enough that your Lord is the witness of all things?
Okay, guys, that was really good video. I really enjoyed that. I learned a lot from that. Uh, I would like to watch more videos about the facts in the Quran because, as I said, there's so many things when we read the Quran we don't really notice or pay attention to. But now I learned a lot. Uh, Maybe these people are scholars. They search about this in the Quran, but for a normal human being just reading the Quran, he will not notice this. I noticed a couple of things, but this was a really good video. I would like to watch more from that, and yeah, wait for another reaction video about another Islam uh, Islam video. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in another video.